Okay, video is to show the wear and tear of the house since we first moved in and when we are vacating. There's nothing wrong with the door. The door is the same as it was when we first moved in, just a little bit cleaner. Here is blinds that were replaced. The walls. The main walls. This is the living room wall. The west wall in the living room. The ceiling, there's really nothing we did to the ceiling or use the ceiling for anything. And this is the east wall. And there is nothing here. Baseboards are fine. Oh, sorry, that was my light. The baseboards are fine. The carpet. The carpet is fine. There's no torn pieces or anything. There's no holes in the carpet. There's no tears in the carpet, just a few wear and tear stains. The heater was cleaned. A lot better than when we moved in. This wall here at one point was gray. And you can see the gray down there. We repainted it to brown. Made it look a lot nicer than what it was. There's no holes in this wall, nor was this wall ever repaired from us from any damage. Everything is all wear and tear. The outlets are fine. The hallway cabinets. The glass fixtures here were already here. Just cleaner than what they were when we first got them. But we didn't touch them. We didn't bother them. We left them alone. Air conditioner. This air conditioner up here was actually hanging down this vent. The vent was hanging down. The landlord's maintenance men didn't frame it, didn't do anything with it, but left it hanging there and tried to use duct tape to fix it. Unfortunately, the duct tape, as you can see, didn't work. So with instruction from Mr. Lucero, he asked me to do the framework for it. So I reframed it. As you can see, it's properly screwed in. It's secure. It's not hanging. It's a good quality job. All it needs is some mud and tape and a new vent, obviously, because that one is damaged. It's been damaged since we moved here and haven't been able to get the landlord to get a new one. So back to the wall. The doorbell has been there. It's never been operational since we moved in, so we've never used it. We've used a temporary one for our stuff. The wall is all just fine. There's no holes or anything. The hallway carpet, just fine. The vent's clean. The wall's fine. No holes have ever been put here by us for any reason whatsoever. The walls, as you can see, are all nice and white and clean. There's nothing here that's been broken. There's been no holes in the walls. The shelving is the same color as the landlord had it. We didn't touch anything in there. As you can see, the outlet's in good working condition. No holes in the wall. A little bit of touch-up paint here and there where we may have gotten it dirty, but it's been fixed. A few small wear and tear, a couple of small stains that would be fairly easy to come out. Nothing big. No tears in the carpet at all. The carpet's just fine. A couple of stains and stuff, but wear and tear stains. As you can see, a bit of dirtiness in the carpet, but that's all for normal traffic use as we walk through. Hallway closet. This here was already torn when we got here. Obviously wasn't us, as you can see where we had something sitting on top of it. I think it was a laundry basket that was on top of it that really didn't get moved. The door is just fine. Nothing wrong with the door. Hallway door. Any of this stuff has been that looks like this has already been previously there. As you can see, some old paint from previous. I didn't do any repairs to this. The heater works just fine. The heating unit, as you can see, we've cleaned it. Carpet, there's no stains or no tears, no rips. Master bedroom. No holes in the walls. Nothing's been damaged. This is actually 100% cleaner than when we moved in. This is the master bathroom. Everything's been cleaned. There's nothing here that has been done, taken out, or anything. Everything works. Everything is just fine. All the way down to the drain. And here, the toilet. The bathroom, nothing damaged. Everything's been cleaned. Few small paint chips, but no big deal. This window was broken on the outside. I did the frost laminate because we needed, obviously you need privacy in a bathroom. There wasn't any window treatment on here. This window latch has been broken the whole time. So we used this bar to hold the window down to keep it locked because that latch was broken. We weren't sure how to get that fixed. Obviously, the landlord wasn't trying to help us get it fixed. Walls are just fine. No holes, no damage holes. If anything, we've just fixed the small little pinholes that where we've hung stuff. Blinds are just fine. Those are normal wear and tear stuff. As you can see, it wasn't broken or anything like that. All the outlets are just fine. That's one thing I forgot to mention was in the master bathroom. This is the closet floor. In the master bathroom, this outlet here was a GFCI outlet, and whoever installed this GFCI outlet didn't install it correctly, which caused it to begin to catch fire. I was in one day and smoke detector. I was in one day and the outlet was smoking, and I called the landlord and let him know. He asked me to take a look at it, so I did what I had to look at it, and I came home another day and it was smoking even more. So that's when I got scared and turned off the electricity. Went in and I disconnected it. I cut it and capped the wires myself. For the record, I'm not an electrician. I'm not licensed in any way, shape, or form. But by the request of the landlord was to go ahead and take care of it myself. So I just cut it and we just quit using it. So that is non-operational because it wasn't put on correctly, installed correctly. GFCI outlets aren't supposed to be installed as such. And I need to grab this thing off the wall here. Wear and tear blinds. The blinds got brittle after a while, and a couple of these blade things broke off. The baseball design was here when we moved in. As you can see, the previous landlord's maintenance guy tried to fix it, but as you can see, it didn't work, or paint it, and it didn't paint that well. You obviously need a few coats to go over that. Hey, hon? Yeah. Can you grab this outlet, or the what do you call it? The bathroom. This is the main bathroom. Nothing going on in here, just a plain wall. This is where the maintenance guy took a wall heater out and installed these GFCI outlets, and these things are not installed correctly. They should have a licensed electrician do that. Bathroom is just fine. I again put the frosted window treatments on for privacy. We're leaving that on, we're not taking it off. This part here was cut and torn by the previous tenant. We never touched it and bothered it. It just eventually fell apart, and we just threw the pieces out. The same way here. Obviously let the landlord know, but nothing was done about it. Okay. Everything is just fine. Kitchen wall, no damage. The outlet. This was another non-working outlet that wasn't installed right. We let the landlord know about this. He just told us to deal with it. So obviously we didn't bother it. We just taped it off and quit using it. Because of that fact, I have the cover in there in the garage. Window treatment, same thing. Basic blinds, just get brittle over time and break. Yeah, we didn't do anything in here to the kitchen. We didn't change anything. We didn't paint this wall. This was already painted. So nothing wrong with the walls in here. Now this, the countertops. The previous tenant that lived here attempted to do a refinishing of the cabinets, and unfortunately didn't use the right paint. You're not supposed to use wall paint, and as you can see, it's all been scraped and rubbed off, but it wasn't scraped off intentionally. It was worn off as we used the countertops. It just wore off in time, so that kind of didn't work very well as far as using wall paint for a countertop. You should be using some type of enamel, something stronger. And hold on, I'm trying to readjust this here, move some stuff out of the way. Okay, the rest of the countertop, sorry I had to move some stuff. Cabinets, just fine. They're all working. There's nothing wrong with them. They all work just fine. Sorry, I've only got two hands, so I'm trying to do this. They work just fine. Over time, as you can see, they do have a tendency to fall apart, but everything works just fine. Countertops, kitchen cabinets, everything in here has been cleaned. These blinds were left by the landlord for us to put up, but they didn't fit on any of the windows here, so we didn't put them up because obviously they don't fit the windows here. And this here, the hot water knob needs a washer, and I didn't want to mess with it as a tenant, because if I broke it, if I cracked it, if I did something to it, I would be responsible to fix it. Attempted to let the landlord know, but well, we're left to deal with it ourselves, as the rest of the stuff. I left some of the stuff here. The handle, which goes over here. I replaced this hot water thing because I needed to turn the water off. This here goes inside the handle, and then this is the screw that goes inside the quarter turn hot water on and off. I tried to turn the hot water off, but this thing was so corroded and corrupted, it cracked and broke just from it being so old that it broke. So we had to go get a new one. Unfortunately, we had to buy the whole thing and didn't use the whole thing but the knob. Countertops, the same thing. The last tenant used wall paint to cover them, to refinish them, to make them look like granite countertops. But as you can see, through time and us living here, it's just worn off from us, putting our pans and stuff here, to be washed and stuff. There's never been a dishwasher here. We just use that for our trash. Same thing here. Everything all works. This is the issue that the landlord had down here, was the sink not draining. The sink was having some issues, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here that needed to be done by a licensed professional, and unfortunately it wasn't done. So the hot water thing right there, as you can see, is up here on top of the sink, and that was replaced. Tried to replace it, but the one I bought didn't fit, so we had to just use a channel lock plier to turn it off. I didn't want to mess with it because, as you can see, the pipes are really rusted, and if I turned them, if I did anything and broke them, I would be responsible to fix them. So therefore I left them alone. With the drainage here, I have a support. I added a support thing down here on the bottom because this drainage has a flexible thing here that doesn't allow it to drain properly, which should have been done by a licensed professional, but unfortunately it wasn't done right, so I had to fix it the best I could to make it function properly. And that's what's going on down here. As you can see, there's a lot of water leakage. We tried to remedy that by fixing this stuff, the drains, but it just wasn't working, and the landlord wasn't really wanting to fix them. These pieces down here, obviously, as you can tell, it's all part of wear and tear, and as you can see from the screws coming out was from it being wet, from the water leaking under there from the drain not being properly installed. All the cabinet doors, they work just fine. The drawers, the stove, very clean stove, top and bottom, normal wear and tear. Cabinets as well, normal wear and tear. And the window. This was the blinds that the landlord gave us to put on, and obviously, as you can see, the blinds didn't fit. So what I did is I added on this frosted piece here to keep privacy here, and that's what we did with this blind. Heater is clean, working, functioning. Garage, no problems at all in the garage. Everything has been properly disconnected. The outlet's just fine. The hot water and cold. And this was the outlet, the GFCI outlet that was in the master bath that I had told you about. If you can see where the corrupted and the fire was about to start, was from this installation.
I didn't install this. I'm not savvy with electrical work, but whoever did this didn't install it correctly, as you can see, and it was really, really close to starting a house fire. Fortunately, I smelled the smoke right away and turned off the electricity and just cut the wires and put a piece of tape over it. This is for the outlet in the kitchen that had just tape over it. That outlet didn't work, so we just left off this face cover and put tape on it, but that's the face cover. The rest of the garage, the door is just fine. Nothing wrong with the walls. Everything here has been as it was. And on the small hole up here that was here, this here was funny because these pieces here fell off onto some stuff I had stored in this area. So these pieces here, as you can see, wasn't damaged, wasn't pushed, wasn't punched or anything. It just got wet and fell out. And these pieces here are right here. So in case the landlord had any questions or tried to say that maybe I had damaged it or broke it or anything, but these go here. If you look at the shapes of it, I think the small one went this way. Okay, there we go. It goes like this. If you can see the plaster and stucco as it matches up to that shape there. So yeah, we saved these pieces. They're all down here. Those weren't installed right, so we're just making sure. The holes in the walls, those were here. We have pictures of those. None of this stuff, there was shelving all up against these walls that we used. So none of these holes were here. The holes that I did try to fix, so I covered this with boxes because it had open insulation, and I didn't really feel like getting rash or itchiness from all the fiberglass within the insulation. As you can see, the wall is just fine. All the holes that were here, they've already been here. You know, there's really no way for me to describe those because I don't know what happened to those. From what I do understand, the landlord said that the last tenant had an uncle that was staying in here and living in this as a living quarter. The ground, the floor is just fine. There's nothing on the floor that's damaged, cracked, or broken. So everything is all good and fine. The outside of the house, you know, there's nothing out here that has been broken or damaged. Everything is functioning. As we leave it, and we're back into the main living room again. So as you can see, all the outlets are working, but like I said, they should have had a licensed professional do the outlets, because if you look at these outlets and you press them, they're soft. They shouldn't have no give to them, you know, and a lot of the outlets have give to them. So when you try to plug something in, it doesn't work correctly, or it could short. So the heater functions just fine. There's really nothing in here that is to be complained about or taken. The floor is just fine. The flooring is good in here in the kitchen. Just a regular kitchen, not anything crazy or different. The only thing that really needs to be done now is just some paint and cleaning. No wall repairs needed. No carpet repairs needed. And that should bring this part of the video to a conclusion.